You are listening to Pocketful of Diamonds, Book 7 of the Nadia Wolf series, written by Nicolette Pierce. Copyright 2016. Audio copyright 2025 by Pierced Heart Publishing. Digitally narrated with full cast of voices.
Chapter 18. Gwen turned on her cell phone. Now that they were in the city, she finally had a signal. She looked over at Ian, who sat in the driver's side of the Jeep. "Do you want to know the plan? Once I make the call, I can't take it back."
Who are you calling?
Duvine.
The man who is blackmailing you and wants the diamonds as well?
Gwen didn't think he was really asking a question. He knew the problems Duvine posed. Ian's hands twisted the steering wheel. She waited for him to speak. If he didn't want this option, they would find another way. However, time wasn't on their side. The longer they waited, the more problems would ensue for both them and the villagers. As long as there were diamonds to be had, no one was safe.
Make the call. I said I trust you, and I do. I see no other way out. If nothing else, I'd feel more comfortable on U.S. soil.
U.S. soil? Gwen shook her head. Try more like Duvine soil. He spends the majority of his time on a private island south of us. He's trying to claim it as a country.
Divineville?
I wouldn't doubt it. He's crazy, but crazy will get us out of here.
Then we only have to deal with a madman, leap from one fire into the next.
Ian leaned his head back against the seat.
Make the call.
She kissed his cheek, giving herself courage. She really hoped she wouldn't screw this up. Gwen pressed Duvine's number in her contact list and waited until the lead minion picked up.
"You have reached the island of Duvine,"
A woman greeted.
"How may I welcome you?"
Tell Duvine to send the plane. Things turned bad here.
"Please hold."
After a few minutes of hold time, Duvine's grating voice came on the line. From his lax tone, he had to be in the middle of a massage.
This had better be important.
I have the diamonds, but things turned ugly here. I've got rebels and agents blocking every way out.
That's not like you. Could it have anything to do with Ian Miller? I've heard a few interesting tidbits that have me questioning our arrangement. Perhaps your dad is looking for relocation.
Gwen tried not to let Duvine under her skin, but he held all the power. I had to get Ian to trust me. He's now wrapped around my finger. We had a crude little wedding ceremony that doesn't leave a paper trail. Gwen kept eye contact with Ian while she spoke. While her mouth was saying hurtful things, her eyes pleaded with him to understand. I have everything you need, but I can't get it to you unless you help. He sighed.
This is going to cost you. I'll send the plane over. One of the girls will contact you with the details.
Before he could disconnect, Gwen said, "Ian is coming too."
You know the rules. No outsiders, especially ones that you steal from.
He has to come or he won't believe me. I have to keep the ruse up for a little longer.
Why?
He has access to another plot of land. You should see the size of some of the stones.
And you can get them.
I will get all of them if you play along. Duvine didn't say anything for a moment, but then finally agreed. Gwen ended the call, both relieved and nervous. "Greedy bastard," she muttered. Ian didn't say anything, just stared at her as if she'd turned into a snake. I had to say what I did. He wouldn't have picked us up otherwise.
He would have picked you up. You could have left.
Not without you. Ian, we're in this together. No matter how oddly this marriage came about, I want it. You were not the only one affected that night when I first arrived in Najamba. I thought I'd never see you again, and I never got over you. Duvine will only think of what he can get from you. We'll use that to keep him occupied. Ian didn't say anything. He just nodded. He knew about our marriage. Someone is still spying.
I don't want to think about it.
Gwen didn't want to worry, but ever since the phone call, Ian seemed tenser. Perhaps he was just nervous about going to Divine's Island, but at this point, he had nothing to fear. As long as Divine believed there was more to steal from Ian, he would be safe. What should we do now? I doubt the plane will arrive until morning. Should we find a place to sleep? Somewhere near the water.
Why water?
Since he's at the island, he'll send the seaplane.
I know of a perfect place.
Thankfully, they hadn't attracted notice at the airport, but she feared their luck wouldn't stretch if they didn't get out of town.
Ian drove to the coast, the only spot he knew of that would have water and a lack of authority. There was a little cove that would be perfect for a seaplane to land without much notice. His thoughts filled with Gwen's phone call. He understood her motive and her reasoning for saying what she did. From the little he knew about Divine, which hardly amounted to anything except various television ads and his diamond empire, the man was not stupid. Skillful lying was a must. But what weighed heavily on Ian's mind was the way those lies floated off of Gwen's silver tongue. She sounded so believable that it nearly convinced him. It made him second-guess everything she had ever said. Ian wanted desperately to trust her, yet he now questioned her. Every thought told him to run like hell, and yet his blinded heart told him to stay, that she wasn't dangerous, that she wouldn't hurt him. His heart was a fool. They journeyed to the coast in silence. He felt the heat of her stare many times, but he refused to acknowledge it. If he had, his heart would once again rule. Right now, he couldn't allow that.
Do you think everyone is okay?
I hope so. He wished there was a way to check, but there was no communication. The last shot echoed in his thought-congested head. It had sounded so close.
Where are we staying?
There's a small cove ahead. No one will see us there.
So, we're sleeping in the car.
I was going to sleep on the beach, but you can sleep wherever you feel comfortable.
I'll feel more comfortable with you.
He nodded, keeping his fluctuating emotions in check.
Ian, what's the matter? Ever since the phone call to Divine, you've been distant.
It's nothing. The stress of the day is probably getting to me.
If you want me to call Divine and cancel, just say the word. I'll make up a story why we don't need the plane.
Ian shook his head. We're already committed.
Nonsense. If you're uncomfortable with this, I'll just lie to Divine. He'll believe me.
I'd believe you too.
What do you mean?
He did not want to have this conversation now, but he had to know. It was eating away at his mind. Your lies are believable.
Of course they are. There's no point in lying if no one believes you. Rather defeats the purpose. I still don't see what the fuss is about.
The fuss? Ian echoed.
Yes. Why are you making a big deal out of this? If you were in my shoes, I'm sure you would have done the same thing.
I'm not in a habit of lying.
But I am.
Aren't you? He said it so coolly that even to his own ears it sounded like ice. Ian pulled down a narrow dirt path and parked next to a cluster of rocks that blocked the view to the sandy cove. They should be safe here. He started to climb out, but Gwen stopped him.
You didn't answer me.
I'm upset. I didn't mean to take it out on you, he said, grasping at his first go-to excuse when dealing with a woman he'd angered. He should have known it wouldn't appease Gwen.
And now I'm upset. Were you expecting me to tell Divine the truth?
No.
Then I was supposed to lie, but do so badly.
No.
Then what?
The tension that had been building in him overflowed. He could no longer contain the frustration and doubt. When I heard you lie to Divine, it made me question everything you've ever said to me. It was so easy for you. No catch in your voice, no twitch of a muscle. I bet you could have fooled a lie detector. So I wonder how many of the things you've said to me were lies. 50%? 100?
That's not fair. I have no choice but to lie, and I've been doing so for over a decade. How do you think I've managed to stay alive and out of jail all of these years? You said you trusted me. Was that a lie?
It must have been, Ian clipped and jumped down from the Jeep. I must have taken cues from the best. He tossed the keys onto the driver's seat and emptied his pockets of all the diamonds that had been jabbing his thighs, tossing them in a heaped pile on the seat. That's so you don't have to steal them. He slammed the door closed and stomped down to the water's edge. Immediately he regretted his actions and words, but was still too upset to do anything but stare out at the black ocean that shimmered under the moon. Perhaps it was for the best. Gwen now had everything. She could make up her mind, and he'd know for sure one way or the other. She could easily leave him here and drive down the coast to pick up her flight. They'd never have to see each other again. There'd never be a reason, since he was completely tapped out. But it wasn't the thought of being broke that tightened his chest. It was the thought of never seeing Gwen again. He shouldn't have said those things to her. She was right. She had to lie or face the consequences. She was protecting her father. Ian wanted to go back and tell Gwen he was sorry. But would it make a difference? This would always hang between them like barbed wire. Before he could make a decision, Gwen started the Jeep and pulled away. He sunk into the sand. She was gone again, with his diamonds in tow. Whoever said "third time's a charm" never met Gwen.